Esports. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the beginning of the end, in a way. Welcome to the semi-finals of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 61. Again, nearing kind of the end here of the tournament, and we're here to find out the first finalists as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkion. And we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And Dark is doing dark things, as always here on this map, rushing into the gold. Again, Dark is very fond of it. He doesn't do it all the time, but I would say, you know, maybe like 60-70% of the time he does embrace the gold on this map. Whenever he believes he can get away with it, does rush into it. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's time to get your gamba going, because predictions are now open. Place your bets. You have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes upon hearing this message to place your bets in the chat for how you think this series will unfold. Zoun has recently returned from the military. Zoun has been on the rise, but Dark, he has yet to conduct his own military service. Dark, he has been on the grind the entire time that Zoun has been gone. And Dark, he is now at the top of the Korean scene. He is the best Zerg player in South Korea. So this is going to be quite a mountain to climb for Zoun. As Zoun, he does confirm with the probe scout, he does get eyes on the hatchery, is aware. Also, one moment, I did just realize, there we go. Did forget the in-game logo. Is now ready. Zoun is aware of what's going on. Back at home, just a gate expand into Cybercore. Standard opener so far, as Zoun, he does not go for the forge response. And Dark, he will main node over, he will saturate that gold. Gold base is getting saturated. The Overlord was in position to scout for a cannon to make sure that there was no cannon rush here at the expansion. And so far, so good for Dark. Dark, he will initially get away with the gold. Initially. Now from here, Zoun can respond with heavy adept aggression to try to punish it. He can just go for a more defensive opener instead and try to secure himself on 3 bases and get into a longer game. Zoun has options. Could even just go for a normal opener and try to harass with oracles and try to get economic damage done that way instead. For now, we have our tech of choice. It is not a Stargate. We are going for a Twilight Council. Interesting. So Zoun is going to respond with aggression. He has options. He could go for Glaive Adepts or DTs. Which is it going to be? The initial Adepts are actually not quite moving out. Zoun getting in position back at home. Twilight Council's almost done. Zoun pulls out. It looks like Glaives. Looks like Glaive Adepts here. If it was DTs, we would stay in gas. The Robo is on the way. Should be seeing additional gateways momentarily. Speaking of, there we go, additional gateways are being thrown down. And the Stalker opener is a tell as well, as the Overlord is being pinned back. The Death moves out, Lings are ready. One drone does not quite go down. Nice defense out of Dark. Doesn't lose anything so far. And there are those glaives that we mentioned. So it should be 4 gate glaive adepts. We only have 2 gateways for now, but there we go. There's a 3rd and 4th gateway on the way. So very committed out of Zoun. This is not an all-in. Bear that in mind. It's not an all-in, but it is designed to trade. It is designed to trade well and allow Zoun to expand. Oh, but one adept goes down. Forces a reaction. Forces a shield battery. Gateways are now finishing up. Dark, of course, confirms there is no expansion. Dark is getting ready. Now, for the time being, Dark, he can drone. He can saturate, he can drone. He's spreading creep, connecting his bases. But soon he's going to have to respond with tech, and we have our choice. I was going to say it's either a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren. One or the other. Dark is going for the Baneling Nest. Bold move. Basically, the Banelings, they have to keep up with the Shades. If they do not, then Zoun can snowball out of control. And when your bases are split up like this, it's going to be difficult actually for Dark. We'll see. I mean, regardless, it would be difficult whether it's with Banelings or with Roaches to split up between all these bases. Prism is on the way towards the gold. Ling's not quite in position. They're across the map. And here comes the first wave. That's how many Adepts? 7. 7 Adepts for Zoun. He can reinforce 4 Adepts at a time. Does reveal himself. Means to respond. Drones being targeted. Not bad. 4 drones going down, but at least they get a surround. They force a recall. Oh, this was not the shade. Zoun gets punished, and Dark defends. Dark, he's droning up. Prism towards the main is spotted by the Overlord. Dark is aware. Stalker goes down. This is a bit of a late response out of Dark, as the Lings are not quite in position. They're trying to deal with the initial move out with the frontal assault, and so far they do. Not bad. War Prism does no damage so far. Adepts are forced back home. Still no expansion. And Zoun, he needs more damage. Zoun actually staying on 2 bases, taking up into a bay into Disruptors. Okay, bold move. Getting into Disruptor production. Now, what I will say is that Dark, he is primed to go into a lair, take gases, and go into mutas. Like, mutas would be a beautiful response if Dark was aware of the Disruptors. Like, Disruptors, they're more ideal against, like, a ground Roach Ravager-based composition, just because Roach Ravager, it can struggle to actually split against these Novas. The Adepts are being forced back. Third base is confirmed. So far, Dark trying to keep up with the Adept Harass. That's still trying to. And Dark for now is investing into Roaches. Okay, so it looks like with the lair, it's just going to be Roach Speed and Roach Ravager here out of Dark. Still has the option to go into Aspire, but there's no tell for him to actually commit into that. Not yet. As Dark is attempting an Overseer Scout. Oh, but is going to be denied. For the time being, is going to rotate back around. Meanwhile, Zoun going for the Disruptor drop. Not just the drop, he's going to be reinforcing with his ground army as well. That's quite an army. Dark's trying to get ready. Let's put the Adepts towards the left-hand side. Zoun, he threatens a shade. Nova goes up! Up! Into the mineral line! Nice splits here out of Dark. Only 2 drones go down. Very impressive, despite the Novas. How? How did that just happen? That's crazy. Meanwhile, Adepts deny the warp in. Very nicely done. Zoun forced to cancel. Bailey's they crash in once again. The Roaches were held up. But Dark, he's set free. The Prism goes down. Massive Nova goes off in the mineral line. The Novas this time aren't too bad, but there's no reinforcements. And Dark, he will clean this up. He will shut this down. He sniped the Prism. Can chase down the Disruptors. Ooh, but that is a lot of economic damage, though. Drones are going down. Ooh, 14 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. That was a lot of economic damage. Despite that, Dark, he's still up in workers. He still has the gold base, of course. And Dark is rejoining. He's rejoining, quickly checking the unit loss tab. It looks like Zoun was able to recall. He did save his Disruptors in the end. And you could argue that Zoun, he got enough economic damage to survive at least, but again, no saturation is what I'm concerned about. It's like Zoun, he cannot sustain these losses. As the game goes on, it's getting better and better for Dark. As he's up to 62 workers, he's 2 drones even. Double expanding. Zones away the Adepts. And Zoun is all in. At this point, Zoun, he's completely all in. He has to end the game with this move out, or at least deal some crippling damage. He's got 3 Disruptors, 3 Novas. He has potential. Nova goes up. Oh god, no. And one of the Novas will connect barely, though. The last second splits. Dark, calm down. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 1. Oh my god. GG. Remember how earlier I was like, oh, you know, Roach Ravager, it can sometimes struggle against Disruptors just because it's difficult to split. Not in the hands of Dark Poppy. Oh my god. The splits. Very impressive. GG, well played. I mean, towards the end, Zoun was already all in. He was already all in there, and things were already looking bleak for Zoun, but despite that, still very nice control out of Dark. Does defend, does survive, and Dark takes a lead. And now we're jumping into game 2. Now, I don't really think game 1 really gave us too much. I mean, Zoun was able to hold his own. He was getting some damage done. True, that was happening. Zoun, he was able to get 14 drones, if you remember. He was able to save his Disruptors. There was some nice micro definitely out of Zoun. The problem, of course, was that because of his build of choice, he was very committed. It wasn't just the 4-gate glaives, if you remember. It was 4-gate glaives into Disruptors into a very delayed third base that never got saturated. The third was basically there for show. It was a fake third, just a 2-base all-in out of Zoun, and that meant as time went on, it was just getting worse and worse for him. I'm hoping for something more macro-based. I'm hoping for something maybe a little bit more standard, just to get an eye on kind of where Zoun is, where I can place him, compared to all the other Protoss players in Korea, but we'll see. We shall see. Because I don't know how much I can really take from Game 1, because it was just an all-in. And here we go, we're getting into Game 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Protoss player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. Dark, of course, leading the series 1-0. Had a very beautiful defense in that first game, but now we should be able to see something more standard. I say more standard. I'll be honest, I feel like the turns are about to table. We're loading into Oceanborn. Oceanborn is known for all-ins. It's known for aggression, especially from Dark. We've seen Dark more often than not all-in on this map. Whether it's a German taxi, whether it's just a Queen walk across the map, whether it's a Link Queen Nidus all-in, Dark is known for being hyper-aggressive here. And I feel like Zoun has to be the defender this time. We'll see. We shall see. Now, the reason why we see a lot of Zerg players go all in on Oceanborn is because the third base is very exposed, or more exposed than on other maps. Unlike on other maps where you have like a choke point and a high ground at least, here there's no ramp. There's no ramp, there's no choke point either. It's very wide open. The third base is very vulnerable, very exposed, and attacking players can even rotate towards the natural as well, so they can hit either location. So it can be difficult to defend. Assuming Dark is aggressive, but we'll see. We shall see. Now Zoun is focusing on his probe scouts, trying to force some inefficient mining. Dark taking a spawning pool, just hatch gas pool, send it open out of Dark, nothing crazy, not yet. And Zoun is in position to delay the third for as long as he can, and maybe even go for another pylon block. We'll see. This time going for a Stargate opener, again something more standard out of Zoun. Stargate into Oracle into a third base, which is why my eyes are mainly on Dark this time. Eyes are going to be on Dark. We'll see when he takes that, when he throws down his Roach Horn, when he takes gases, when he decides to pull back in. That is going to be the tell. But now Toolings, they slip into the natural, they can threaten the mineral line. They shouldn't get any probe kills here, but they can delay mining. Ooh, and this one probe does come down to the low ground. It is going to be under threat. Adept races back home. Zoun will defend. But this is quite a lot of lost mining time. I mean, for the past couple of seconds, 0 mining here at the natural. Now everything has to main out over. So a nice bit of damage here from Dark early on. Meanwhile, the Oracle is on the way. And Dark, for the most part, is aware. I mean, he hasn't scouted the tech yet, but this time there was no Stalker. Lings are in position to scout the third. To threaten the natural once again. And they spot the Oracle. So nice scouting here by Dark. Back at home, Queens are getting ready. We have 2 Queens here at the forward base. We have soon to be 2 Queens in the main. Just the one for now, though. Spore is on the way. The main base is looking more exposed. So Zoun has potential. As I say that, he does get intercepted. Does take a lot of damage already. Even a bit of hull damage. Oh, that should not have happened. So the main base is going to be safe. Zoun taking his third. And again, Zoun is going to be taking a more defensive role here, trying to stabilize on 3 bases. And so far, Dark likewise droning up. So far, so good. Dark pulling back into gas, saturating his natural. Queen's likewise zoning away the Oracles. And Dark is going lair first. Interesting. Okay, so this was around a 425 or 420-ish lair timing. Lair is on the way. Now, this could be to skip roaches and go Ling Hydra. That is an option. We could go Ling Hydra into lurkers into Hive Tech. Otherwise, by the time the lair gets halfway done, we could throw down a Roach Warren. Speaking of, there it is. So it is going to be Roach Ravager. So basically, the way this is lined up, by the time the lair finishes, so does the Roach Warren, and you can start up Roach Speed. So Dark is set up for Roach Ravager. This is not an aggressive build. This is more macro-oriented out of Dark. He should be droning, should be saturating, at least up to 3 base saturation. And we'll see if Dark takes the 4th. And we'll see if he saturates the 4th base as well. Likewise, Dark also has the option, even though he has the Roach Warren, he could go plus on range and he could delay Roach production and go for the Hydrogen still. But with this upgrade, it should be Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, across the map, while Dark is going Roach Ravager, we have Zoun not going Blink Stalkers. Checking the vision here, Dark he has not scouted the main, but it is going to be Charge Lot Archon out of Zoun. Oracles, they do head in. Going for the main base, Queens are in position, and they try to focus down one of the Oracles. It gets low. Oh my god! One Oracle goes down, massive pickoff. And Dark did make a safety amount of roaches. Meanwhile, Zoun going for a massive gateway explosion. Charge almost done. War Prison's moving out, going for initially an Archon drop. If Dark is too greedy, then Zoun could punish him. There's that Hydrogen, so Dark going Roach Ravager into Hydra Lurker eventually. Dark is being more macro focused. Yeah, infestation bits on the way. That's going to be for the Hive Tech, for the Vipers and Lurkers. Meanwhile, here comes Zoun. Now, Dark does have some Roach Ravage or some Roaches and Lings, but not really much to defend. We'll see if it is enough. Zoun does threaten the 4th. Queens are rotating over. The base is going to be targeted down, and can Zoun get the kill? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Do we have a transfuse? We do not. Oh, we do! Oh, we get 1, we get 2, just barely the transfuse. They keep the hatchery alive. Oh my god. Very close. If it wasn't for the Queens, it would have gone down. And even then, it was just a very clutch transfuse out of Dark. He saves the hatchery, and now Dark goes for a counterattack. He's forced to make an army, and he is moving out. No Ravagers, he's saving his gas. That's how he's able to afford the Hive. Hive is on the way. Hydra upgrades are on the way as well. Again, the reason for this is it is purely Roach. And the Roaches, they overwhelm the Zealots. And they're trying to get on top of the Archons. Yeah, 1 Archon goes down. There's 2 Archons left. The Archons are getting loads down. Oh, he does save them. Does save the Archons. More Roaches pushing in. And this is still a better trade for Dark. He reset the Zealot count. He's going for the 4th expansion. Dark, he held his own. Can Zoun do the same? That I don't think he can. Yeah, 1 more volley. Ooh, it barely goes down. Takes out an Archon as well. Oh my god. 1 Archon left. Dark, he gets the hell out of here. And as Dark is retreating, Hydras. Hydras are on the way. Hive is almost done. Lurker Den is on the way as well. Dark, he's done with Roaches. It's all about Ling Hydra from here on forward. And again, just really efficient use of his gas as well. Again, Dark not making or not wasting any gas on Ravagers. Just only Roach. So he's able to afford that next step. Lurker Den about to finish. The Hydras have arrived, and you can see here that Dark is reinforced with Lings to build up gas to afford Lurkers as well. Just in case he forced an all-in. Like, if Zoun goes for a 3-base all-in, then Dark would be vulnerable, he would desperately need Lurkers. As we can see, though, Zoun is expanding. Likewise, Dark takes a 5th. Knocking down those rocks. Lurker upgrades are on the way. No Vipers yet. Not yet here for Dark. Still just building up. Getting into +2 range. I am concerned that there are no Lurkers for Dark. I do feel like he has cut a little some corners here. He could have afforded them earlier. And without Lurkers, it's going to be a tough hold for Dark. As Dark is maxing out. That was a cancel on the expansion. Mass Archon Immortal pushing in. Can Dark hold? He's coming in for the surround. Hydras from behind, the Queens from the front. That's a lot of Archons though, and Hydras, they melt against Archons. A nice kiting though, buying time. More Hydras on the way. And without reinforcements, without Zealots, it looks like Darky's gonna hold. Yeah, he shuts down the army, cleans up the Archons, cleans up the Immortals. Who needs Lunkers, Pappy? I mean, it would have been a little bit easier, but regardless. Dark, he's holding on, he's buying time. And there we go, the Lurkers are now on the way, ready for the counterattack. With both Hive upgrades. The Lunkers are coming. Dark defends, doesn't lose any economy. He did lose an expansion, true. He lost his 5th. But he's almost max. Dark, he's almost maxed out as he moves out. Zoun going for his Zealot counterattack, trying to buy time. Back at home, what is it to defend? Archons and Immortals. Like, Zoun was so committed. And he did not trade well enough. And Dark is snowballing out of control. His Ling Hydra hits the 4th base. Lurkers, they zone away the main army. They just don't allow Zoun to engage. Zealot run by hits the Queens. Yeah, Zealot's cleaned up. GG gets called. Dark, he's all over this. And Dark, he will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Dark will take the series. Very well played. It was a close one though. I mean, again, Zoun had potential when it came to his initial charge Archon move out, but if you remember, he did not kill the 4th base, so that means losing all those Zealots and losing the Archons as well wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth for Zoun. He did bleed out a lot of units. He was vulnerable to a counterattack, and Dark, he was so quick to counterattack as well, just punishing the initial push of Zoun. And that's when Zoun lost the 4th. If you remember, that's when he lost the 4th base, that's when his economy was crippled, that's when he fell behind, and that's when he committed into his all-in. And he had a lot going for him with it. Remember, there were a lot of Immortals, there were like 4 Immortals and like 5 Archons. It's a very hefty army, and Dark did not have Lurkers, but he had the better engagement. He had the surround. He had the surround of Queens and Hydras and Lings. He was able to kite and buy time for more reinforcements for his larva to kick in. It's a very patient play there out of Dark. Very well done. GG. GG, well played. Dark will advance on to the grand finals. And let's have a moment here. Let's take a moment to have a look at the bracket because we have some updates and the lower semis are underway.